Okay.
Beautiful good morning from France. I have today guests from Portugal. May I ask you to introduce yourself and tell us what is the essence of your life?
Hello all. I'm grateful to join Eugenia and whoever may watch this conversation at any now. And my name is Ana Isabel. I live in Portugal, and yeah, I'm a human being living this life experience, and I have faced many challenges as any of us have, and these challenges were my main tool for my personal expansion, let's say. And right now, I understood that we are the creators of whoever may happen. That's our essence as human beings. For me, it's my essence. And so I try to flow with every now moment and try to expand at every now. So I'm burning every day as a new being in a way. And yeah, that's it.
I think we have it because nowadays the world is changing so quickly. We have no other possibility, no choice as to adapt us and to find our each day a new one, new aspect of us. What we are going to do today? What is my role in this world today? Can you tell a little bit what you have been doing in the like before, like 10 years ago, 20 years ago? What you how what are you doing now, how it changed?
I was doing a lot of stuff. Actually, I have done many things, but my main work was at the planes. I was a flight attendant, and
Flight attendant, you have been flight attendant?
yes,
Yes. May I
yes,
talk a little bit like more clear, because I am on the ocean, you are also like the internet connection is not that good, so please try to speak a little bit more clear.
yes. Okay. So I was working as flight attendant during since I was 20 something. Before that,
Countries have you visited?
what? How many countries? Oh, I don't know. All Europe countries, and I was only doing flights on Europe and in Portugal, internal flights. And but it was amazing for me to, because I connected every day with so many people, and yeah, it was a great tool for my growing and for understanding the relationships between persons. And but during many years I was living in a depression, and I had a lot of problems of self-esteem, and at one time, due to my relationships, my romantic relationships, I have to face a lot of issues too. And so it was through integrating all the situations
So
and
these the difficult times have been for your starting working as a flight attendant, and then when you started working as flight attendant, it everything changed because flight attendant. I have many girlfriends. They are dreaming of having this work. This like for some people it's a dream job because you are traveling, you are meeting people. Exactly what you have been saying about. So what is the most you appreciated after you finish this career, now you live completely different life? What was the most valuable from this time?
oh, so many things. But it was my dream actually. So this was something that I had a dream, and I have gone for it, and I was successful and making it real for me.
Yeah.
And then I saw that okay, it was the reality was different from what my expectations. Let's
What
say,
was the difference, the reality? Tell a little bit more.
because it's hard work too. You actually you are. it's like you are working in a restaurant most
Yeah.
of the time. You are serving meals you have to be very quick, and
Yeah.
you have to give your attention very quick to someone, but people have to feel that you are really paying attention to them. So it's not easy, because you shift from one person to another person, 100 and something persons in one flight, or 200, and so you have to really be quick and adapt yourself to each person.
Oh.
So you may provide a very meaningful
How you
interaction.
compensate this? You are, I'm imagining you're having flight in Europe, not that long, but still, because you are going one way and then you are coming back. So it is still, how you after making relaxation? How do you compensate this stressful working day?
By that time, I had no notion about that, and I just will. I will come home, and I will. I was always very tired, not only physically but psychologically. So I would be needing to sleep a lot.
Yeah.
And then when I started having kids, it was really tough, because I will arrive from a flight, and then the kids were at home waiting for me, full of energy, Mama, and I just wanted to lay down and shut out a little bit, and so it was not easy. It was not easy. And then when I have the third children, I decided to leave, because it was very difficult for me with my kids and go to work. And but what is the most significant? All these interactions with people, and it was, for me, it was a pleasure, because I always have loved to be with people, to make people feel good,
Yeah.
make them feel happy. So
Yeah.
it was my pleasure when someone will enter the plane and they look stressed, and they look at um, not centered, and it was my pleasure to bring the smile back to them again. So that was the magic for me
Yeah.
of that job, because I could interact with many people in one day and bring the smiles back to them, and because I was really loving to be with them. And by that time, I was not aware of that, but then I understood that people will feel well around me because I was happy uh, by serving them. For
Mhm.
me, by being of service, but it's not in a negative way, by helping them to feel better, even if it was just for a moment, for that moment. They
Yeah.
will smile and they will relax. And yeah, that's my best remembrance of that work. But of course, the physical work was really tough.
Yeah.
And also dealing with the colleagues, with the other persons that work with me, was the more challenging part for me, at many levels, because I I wouldn't accept help too, so I was very perfectionist by that time, and so I have to work on accepting and working with different people at every flight, because we work with different people at every flight. So that was a great school too. Yeah,
Yeah.
so many layers, so
Wow.
many layers. Yes,
So now you
but
I
but
see beautiful house just behind you. Beautiful. And I know that it's like you are living here now far away from city, because I assume before you have been living in a big city and now you are in somewhere in the remote area. Tell me a little bit about this shift. You are used to get to have many people around you, stressful working day, you are flying, you are seeing different countries, and now you are here. Tell me about this shift and tell me about the decision. How did you decide to move there?
it was actually, since I was a kid, I was dreaming with the forest or farm, or living in the nature, or living by the beach. When I was a teenager or in the early 20s, I would dream of having a small restaurant at the beach in a very deserted area. So I was always in wanting for be in nature, be in close connection with nature. But my parents were moving around and living in many places. So I was born here in Portugal. Then we lived in Mozambique, and then we have gone to Brazil. I was raised in Brazil, but
Oh.
in cities, always in cities. And then when I was 19, I decided to come to Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I met a guy from Lithuania, which
Oh,
is near your country.
I'm
He,
Lithuanian, but it's
but
like it is so. When you say I was just once in Portugal, I was in Faro, and when it was, I think it was not Faro, it was another small city on the beach. When I was eating in the restaurant, I ordered the food, and the person who was serving me, he knew also his best friend was Lithuanian, so I felt like
uh,
because really it was he used to work on the boats, and so his best friend from his that times was Lithuanian, so we find immediately contact, and so it is like okay,
yeah,
continue, just sorry for the interruption. It is.
no. So yeah, so this guy, he was a grandson from a couple that they came from Lithuania. Lithuania, I think it's on the side near Lithuania. It's
It is neighbor country, also very small European
yes,
in the northern Europe.
yes. And so he came with me to Portugal, and actually we married, and it was my first marriage. And then here in Portugal, I have lived in Lisbon first, a big city, but then I met a guy that lived here, and I came to live here for
Oh,
some years. It was
so it was second
it
marriage.
was my yeah, it was my second marriage. And then my personal story is funny because then I fall in love with my brother-in-law. Uh, and so it was a very difficult process to me. And by that time I was really depressed and living in depression. I was in depression since I was on my 14 year or something. And then I really was bad, and I have to take medicines. I went to a psychiatrist. He gave me really hard stuff. And then this was the turning point in my life of deciding that I didn't want to keep on taking medicines, and I have to do something to solve what was inside me. That was, I
Yeah.
wanted to die. I didn't want to be here because of all the world situation, because I couldn't see a way out
Yeah.
for humanity.
So
And because
maybe stay there, because that's very important question. Many people nowadays, they feel depressed and they don't feel like they belong to be here. They don't
yes,
find their place in this world. So now, after many years passed, and now you find your way. You are happy. You are spreading you have activities, you have many international friends, you're doing meditations, you are making many things. So what was the reason for the depression? Can you name
the
it?
reason was that was since I was a kid, I was feeling. Since I become aware of what was happening in the world, I got depressed because I couldn't stand.
what
And
what exactly
today I discovered
happening in the world? Can you name it?
when I was a kid and I started seeing kids in Africa dying from starving, and the wars and people against each other, and relationships, that everything around. And actually,
So
I am what the people.
the injustice, you mean the injustice, the social inequality, and many
Yes,
things like that.
yes, yes. And added to that, let's say my family interaction. I didn't saw my father and my mother as a happy couple, and I am a highly sensitive person, so I am what people could call an empath, but I didn't know that, so I was feeling all the world, all the sadness, all the suffering, everything, and I couldn't, and I thought I was powerless because I didn't knew we are a part of a collective energy. The understanding that I have now, I didn't have by that time. I was not aware. So I thought, oh, what can I do to save the world? My thing was save the world, and also uh, I, I I thought I didn't was worthy. I was really shy. I came with some autistic characteristics, as I told you, I believe. So I couldn't look people in the eyes, and my parents wouldn't look me in the eyes when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel lost also, and a lot of stuff going on. It's a regular life of a human being. Actually, every one of us has that at different levels,
Yeah.
many experiences similar to mine,
Let me ask you
and
something.
that's what.
That's also very important what you mentioned. You told me now by telling how it was when you felt low. You haven't saying you didn't have yet this insight what you have now. What do you have now? And when you get it and how you get it. So
I pick it. Actually I pick it in so many places, and today I see that the clues are everywhere, but we are not aware. But I was, as I told you, I was a reader, so I was reading books after books. Oh, and my daughter, she is calling, and and it was not spiritually books. It was books from all subjects and a lot of romance and policial books and a lot of stuff. And I was seeking one thing here, one.
we are collecting the information piece, another piece that
Yes.
is leading us to
When
something.
I understood that we are, for me, we are what we call God,
Yeah.
because and during some time in my uh, uh, 20 this teenage in my teenage age until 20, I was following a Catholic religion because I was raised in Catholic religion, and I was in a school, Catholic school, so I wanted to be a nun, and I wanted to go to the religious life because I wanted to help and go to Africa to help children and this kind of stuff. And then I start observing, and religion, Catholic, by that time, they, and even today, they teach one thing, but then what was happening in reality was very different. There was a lot of contrast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I gave up from religion, and I said, no, this is absurd. And then during some years, I knew I didn't believe in God, or I, I, I thought at least the God of the church
Okay, so it means
was
that
not God.
it's something you are talking about which gave you the strength and allowed you to discover self-esteem, to feel worthy. It was something related to your spirituality.
I don't know. I I have been this contrast to the world, which was I was shy. I didn't believe in myself in a way, but in another way, I remember one situation. I was 7, and I was with my brother and my cousin, 2 boys, and we were going to pass in a small alley, going to school, and it was a place that a lot of gypsies used to be there, and people were afraid of them. And then we were starting at the beginning of the street, and we saw the gypsies, and my brother and my cousin, they ran away, and I said, no, I'm going to pass here and they won't hurt me.
Yeah,
So it was something, this contrast inside me,
yeah,
that at the same time I was not worthy, but I would be the kid that will face the demons when they were there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really shy, but I had this duality, this moment when I will say, who cares? I'm going to do it. And if I die, if something happens, I don't care. So it was really a contrast between being really shy and at the same time being really
Brave and knowing from
careless.
inside that it is not dangerous, that there is something more. So, and this seed you had inside in your heart, when it started growing and expanding, when you after your second marriage.
I don't know, because it was my thing. Like I would always want to help the people that were alone, the people that were bullied at school, or I will always hang on with the less popular persons because I couldn't stand to see someone alone or feeling unhappy. So it was something in a way I brought to this life already that I knew, that I knew. I don't know. I knew that I couldn't be happy if someone around me wasn't happy. So
Mhm.
this was something I was bringing, but then I got lost and I thought I was powerless. And then slowly, because I would jump in situations very challenging, like coming together, coming alone to Portugal when I was 19, and
Yeah,
my parents were there, and I come here because I was chasing my dream of becoming a flight attendant,
yeah,
because I had announced when I was a kid that she was my hero and I want to be like my aunt, and she was a flight attendant. So I came here, and then I couldn't speak French. Then I made a course of French and I was able to learn more or less French in 3 months. And I did a lot of really challenging. So in a way, I didn't believe in myself, but I believe in myself. It was always this contrast within me. And,
perfect.
and and I would, like I did, I was a fashion model, and I did theater, and I was playing small parts on television, but it was always a challenge to me, and I will be really scared, but then I will face, I will say, who cares? I'm trying to do it. I'll try to do it, and every all these experiences has bring me self-esteem in a way, because I was observing that I was successful doing these things, although in, it was really a hard challenge for me. So it is in me this
Wow. So it's
tendency to face
very
things,
brave.
to face
What
challenges.
you're saying, this is exactly the right thing. If we have some challenge, some fears inside, so how we can overcome that, expose in extreme. That's very brave. That's very brave.
Yes,
A lot of
yes,
respect
and
for this. So can we talk now? Now your life is completely different. Now you are far
yes.
away from all the metropolis. You are far away from the cities. You are in a small house in the middle of the nature. What you discovered there when you moved, when you started living there?
Oh, even living here, it was. Then I came here with my second husband. Then I came back to Lisbon. Then I came here again. In the middle, I was in Algarve, living by the sea too. So I was connecting a lot with the planet already. I didn't know, and for me, a big transformation
Tell me
was
a little
like
bit more, because that's very important what you say, connecting with the nature. And
with
you,
Gaia, with the planet.
what,
Yes.
how it was the connection with the nature? What exactly have you been doing?
Uh, this as I told you, since I was a kid, I was dreaming of living in nature. My carnival suit will be like Indian or Hawaiian or something like that. So I have a close connection with native ancient um, ancient beings, ancient populations, or but I was not aware, but there was this calling. And during the time I was living in Algarve, will always be at the beach, and my like my birthday parties will be at the beach, a picnic at the beach at the sunset, and I love to stay all day long at the beach and like with my feet on the ground, bare feet. I
Yeah.
was always walking barefoot since I was a kid, and my mother will tell me, "No, you have to put your shoes," and I was always barefoot. So I was connected with Gaia. I'm Gaia. Really, I'm very Gaia is very inbred in me, and but the final, let's say the main step for me in understanding that connection was like maybe 12 years ago. I bought a Reiki book because I heard something about Reiki, and then I saw Reiki for children, and I bought it for my kids,
Oh,
and then my kids didn't pay attention to the book, and I read the book, and I said, oh, so I have to, because it was really simple, the explanation. They said, oh, you have to visualize the light coming to your head and going to your hands. And then I made this experiment, and I really felt it
wow.
just like this. I started feeling energy, and I was like, wow. And from that point, and by that time, because it was my father died of leukemia 12 years ago. And by that time, I remember he, before dying, asking me, what do you think God is? And I said, God, we are God, in a sense. God is everything. So I already had that understanding. I don't know how it arrived because it was coming slowly, this remembrance that we are. But by that time, I didn't was sure that I we have this power that we have. I wasn't
Yeah.
not the information was not yet really in my body. But then with the feeling of the energy, it started increasing, and then some maybe 2 or 3 years later or four, I'm not sure. Another friend bring me another book called the Reconnection,
Mhm.
a guy that he works with the hands and he do these waves with hands. So I read the book and then I was really feeling the energy more strong yet. So I started actually assessing information
Mhm.
because the information is here for everybody.
Yeah.
When we talk about channelings or I don't know, maybe there are some difference and there are people that they hear a voice on the head, but I think many people, they connect and they access the information that is here for everybody, for each and every one of us to access this information.
So what are you doing
So
now? So what are you doing now? How do you connect? How do you react to nowadays in this world? What is your contribution?
my contribution is connecting and expanding
Mhm.
every day. So that's what I'm doing right now. Um, expand because what I come to understand right now is we are all points of connection uh, and expansion within this reality with our bodies. So the information is pulsating between these bodies and the totality, which we are also. And so every time the information comes in, then there is an expansion in each being, and each being expanding, we are expanding the totality.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing from like due to a lot of synchronicity situations, 40 years ago, I met the information of Cryon. Uh, that is an American guy, Lee Carroll, that
Yeah.
he channels this information. By that time, when I heard about channeling, I would say, oh, this doesn't make sense, or because I was really a very rational kid and I was good in mathematics, physics, science, and things like that. And I read a lot of stuff about that. And also, and so, but then that book met me, and by that time I was thinking that I was getting crazy because I was feeling really a big heart expansion, and I wanted to leave everything behind and walk and talk with the people and say, you are a beautiful being, I love you, and you, the power is in you. So I already had this information that the power was in us, a lot of stuff, but I didn't knew from where it was coming, and I thought, I'm getting crazy. Yeah, you are getting crazy again. and 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 then I found this book met me due to a lot of synchronicities, and I started reading Cryon Book 1, and everything I was feeling as truth was in that book. So I said, oh, okay, thank you, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. And then at the book they said, you can ask for releasing all your karma,
Yeah.
and became neutral. And I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And it really worked because I am experiencing that since that day, that period when I did that, and I actually, and it was nothing sexual. I connected, I felt the energy, and I said, and I asked, no, I stated that I will leave behind all karmic situations, that I want to be neutral, and that I was surrendering to the totality.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So you have been releasing the karma by yourself.
yes,
You have been
yes,
cleaning, but everything doing by yourself,
yes,
by
yes.
connecting with your heart, with your higher self, whatever, or for to the collective consciousness. Also, what I like about you, that instead of using and saying the ascendant, you say expansion.
Yes,
That's,
because
it comes from the heart and it is growing. So it is beautiful journey what you're sharing with us. And can you please maybe tell a little bit more or give example how you do your exercise connecting with Gaia?
I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
So yes, and what I'm in that book of the reconnection, he said something that was really, there is a lot of information in that book that resonate also so strongly with me, and it was more a remembrance. Many books that arrived to me later, and it's remembering a lot of stuff that I was accessing,
Yeah.
but it is put it in words,
Yeah.
because that's something I would like to share. The information, at least for me, that I access is like a flash, or it's a feeling. There is no words, and words are the tool we have on this human experience. But words, they carry so much different meanings for so much different things, and also they carry so many layers, and so it's a miracle that we can understand each other with the words. and and of course there is much more in the communication than words, and what we are doing now, there is our energy, and there will be the energy added, that everybody that will watch this, and also, and I'm feeling this already, and so this energy is imprinted here. So everyone that watched this video, if they are open to the possibility of feeling the energy, they will be feeling, because I'm feeling right now. How do I do this? I just started doing what the Reiki book said. I was open-minded, in the sense, okay, I'm open to the possibility. The first thing is that we open to the possibility. It's not believing or saying, this is good or not. It's just be open to
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
and to access. Because
The first thing is to be open to receive and to give, to have exchange of energies.
yeah, to exchange, that's it, and to expand, and then for me right now, I have my feet on the ground, so I just take my attention to the feet, and I automatically I start feeling the flow between Gaia and me, flow of energy from the
So
planet through my feet.
to be barefoot on the earth. Do you think it is
Yes,
possible if somebody lives in a house, like we have now right now we have quarantine because of coronavirus. So if we are in
yes,
Can we do it at home on the, on like, you know, in
Yes,
the
you can do. You
floor?
can do everywhere, and for more visualization, you can imagine roots going down to
Yeah,
your building
yeah.
until they reach the soil, for
Ah,
instance. And also, the air we are breathing in comes from the trees and the plants and many beings on Gaia and micro the fungus. So you can visualize this air that I'm breathing came from Gaia, came from a plant. So this is a close connection. Every time we are breathing, we are in close connection with Gaia. So we are always in close connection.
yeah.
Even, yeah. So,
So now
and
we
then,
connect with the Gaia, with our, we are taking the energy from the Gaia, wherever we are imagining roots going to the Gaia, 3 meters, five
yes.
meters, and then we are now taking the energy and we start feeling the energy flow. What happens after?
And then in the book, the reconnection, they say, so you put the hands like this, and you imagine there is a wire between your hands, and you are stretching and approaching, and you feel this invisible line contracting and expanding, and letting the fingers just flow,
Yeah.
and be open to the possibility that you
Mhm.
can start to feel some sensation in your hands.
Wow.
And as you move your fingers, and then you start playing with that ball of energy. Even if you are not feeling it, but you have your feet on the ground, you can be under a tree, that's much more easy. But if you are at home right now, you are breathing Gaia in, you can visualize your roots going down the building and finding the soil under your building. And then you play with ball of energy, and you can uh, throw the ball and then catch the ball, and then from one hand to another hand, and start playing with that and being open. And also you can visualize the energy flowing through your head, entering your body, mixing with the energy of Gaia. I do this a lot in my dancing meditation. And I like to say we are the point when the sky meets the soil, meets the earth. And so, yeah, and the energy is mixing in your heart, and then it's expanding. And yeah, give it a try. And the
Wow.
more actually is our intention.
Yeah.
So being open,
Mhm.
and then also say, I'm going to feel it. I'm feeling it. Not I'm going to feel it. I'm feeling it. And being open, and trying again and again. If you first
And
time you don't feel anything, try again. Why not? It's you can see as it's playing. Actually, yes, it's playing. So I'm gonna play with this idea right now. I'm gonna play with this energy thing,
so
or
can
I'm
you
gonna, yes.
Can you tell me this now? We are created this ball. We are playing with it. What is the reason? What does it make to play with this energy ball? What it gives for the universe, for the Gaia, and what it gives for us, and what it gives for the collective?
You are expanding your own field, your awareness, let's say, of something that already exists, but you are, as you look, as you see something, you are magnifying this thing. That's our power as human beings in this body. That's what I believe. So whenever you put your eyes, you are magnifying something, and that they are already, even the scientists they are already understanding that the observer affects the experiment
Yeah.
in a sense. So if you start to observing your own energy, you are expanding it.
Yeah.
How this helps the collective. I love the, and I think I told you the picture that is, you have a ball with the red paint,
Mhm.
and you put a drop of blue paint,
Mhm.
and first but you don't notice anything, but then you keep on putting drops of blue paint, and slowly the red paint starts to change to
Mhm.
some violet,
Yeah.
to a different color.
Yeah.
So each being that is expanding His energy is expanding the collective because we are one thing. So how does it help? Helps because you are changing at every now moment. We are changing and expanding the collective energy. So each being counts, and each being, and when you are conscious of what you are doing, so you are creating a much bigger ball of energy. You are expanding your ball of energy. So the effect you are having on the collective is much bigger than someone that is not aware and that is using their power without knowing and focusing in different things, but they are not aware, and you are aware. So you impact much more people that, because you are your body, and this is something mechanical. Actually, I love to say that spirituality is highly scientific because it's something in our DNA that is in the part they call junk, that is we cannot see right now, but this something is changing all the time and is expanding too. So it's something actually mechanical as you become aware of your energy and you put the intention of expanding it, of balancing it.
Yeah.
You are your cells actually they start acting different. So you carry a tone whenever you go. At every place you go, you are carrying this tone that other people around they can pick your tone of
Yeah.
love of and you don't have to say anything. You just have to keep that connection. You are like shopping. You remember, you breathe in. I use breathe a lot to call the energy also. So breathing in and out and feeling as you breathe in the Gaia love pouring into you and this exchange. And so whenever you are, if you breathe in and you feel the connection, you are already helping the collective around you.
Yeah.
And people, they are not aware, but they are picking your tone with their bodies, with their field. That's what I feel as
Yeah.
truth. That's what I'm getting, but I don't have scientific proofs. But there are a lot of hints everywhere, and many people. There are books about this. There are books that say the same. But I say this because I feel that it.
You say that
Truth.
when you are doing this exercise, connecting with the Gaia and creating the energy ball, letting it pass all your body till the stars, and then in this moment, this ball, and when you are walking after this short connection, you feel protected, you feel more grounded, more present, connected with yourself, but also with the universe, and also this energy felt you are creating around you, it changes also the energy felt in the collective, and also for the other beings or people you are communicating with.
Yes, yes. And I feel when you start doing this, you feel joy. You feel joyful
Yeah.
from everything and nothing. So you are in that joyful state, and that is catchy too. That is, I say, love is like a virus. Like 4 years ago, I did a video when I was in line skating, and I was saying love is a virus, and joy is a virus, and people catch it from you because it's like a tone,
Yeah.
and it's going, and then that person that she was around you, she pick up the tone, and then she goes to another place. There are 10 people, and if she's still with that tone, she is sharing that tone for the other people,
So
less amplified, but still sharing. And that was something that I was always loving to do. It to smile at people at random, and I do this every day at the street, and I say good day, and some people they look like what, but others they are really feeling stressed, and then they relax and they smile, and I believe then these people, she will arrive home and
yeah.
she relax just a little bit, and that is creating a exponential effect
Yeah.
around the virus
Beautiful.
in a way.
So
Yeah.
what would you send, what would you like to share on the end? What is the most important, how to overcome fears nowadays, how to stay grounded, how to to start believing that what we are talking about, this energy ball, it's not a not like not a clear story, but something what really could help, and everybody has it. Everybody has access to it.
Yes,
How
it's a personal decision.
how you would encourage people just simple to try it?
Feel my joy, and and I don't even feel that I need protection right now because everything is me. Everything comes from me. Me meaning as the totality. You, whoever may be watching.
Yeah.
So all the power is within us, and we can say nonsense, or we could give it a try. Why give it a try? Wouldn't it be amazing if you were more free, if you feel joyful because you hear the birds, or because there is a small ant walking around and you see, and the people, we were taught that we have to worry about everything and nothing. But when we worry, we are, in Portuguese we say preocupar, is you are occupying of something before time.
Yeah.
And that's what we are doing when we have to know what's going on in the world, we have to worry about this or about that, but what does it do in this now moment for you? Maybe nothing. At even it is getting you down, it's getting you stressed, it's getting you not joyful. And so why don't give a try and try to discover by yourself what is what's out there more for you,
Yeah. And
because
you know
that's
what? I
something
also
that,
I think you are the best example uh, that of existing something which you cannot describe, even if you don't believe in it, if you don't feel, because watching at you, it is unconsciously, I have to start smiling, and
yes.
heart is getting full of joy. So something is going on, even at watching, as you told. So the last question for you: you are making on Facebook group meditations. You are offering many things. You can offer artwork. How people can find you?
At my page, yes, yes, and you can ask me for friendship and or send me a message, and I would encourage you, everybody to create something, to do a video also and share what is joyful for you, even if it's some picture or something, and because it's the most powerful thing that you can do right now is just, even if just for a moment, to stop, to breathe, to look at nature, to create something that you love, to clean a space, to whatever you feel like. We can put the sacredness or the divinity, let's say, or the joy in everything that we are doing as we are aware of it. And by watching this, anybody will feel this energy. The energy is on the video right now, so you
Yeah.
are going to feel it.
Yeah.
You are going to feel it. And if, even if I'm crazy, and this is all nonsense for me,
Yeah.
which is not, because I'm feeling, and I have watched miracles, let's say, uh, in interactions with persons. So uh, try, do your personal experience. Try
Yeah.
to be in a state more connected, more
Mm.
joyous, and then interact with someone that is stressed. Keeping that connection, and you will see the miracle happening in front of you.
Oh, thank you so much. That's
So
beautiful.
try.
That's beautiful, your
Yes.
contribution to this world. So thank you so much for your work. Thank you so much for your time. And I wish all the best. And I hope people, they will reach out to you, and you can make another, like, you can inspire many people in the world. Thank you so much.
Grateful, Eugenia, and grateful to all.